So it's a scorcher-rooney today, absolutely super hot outside. You may be watching this when it's raining next week, hopefully not. Today, Recruitment Funding 10, we're back. Simon J, Compare Recruitment Funding. Today we've got Graham Woodall from Hitachi Capital Invoice Finance. I'll let him introduce himself, and hope you enjoy. It's a special one today. I've got Graham from Hitachi. I'll let him introduce himself, but a lot of you, hopefully they're watching this. I worked for Hitachi for just over 3 years. I work closely with Graham and the team. I'm still working with them closely along with lots of other lenders. So, really excited for this one. Graham, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you, a bit about your background, and a little bit about Hitachi, and we'll dive into the few questions that we've spoken about.
Yeah, okay. Well, Simon, good to see you.
Thanks for virtually. Love it.
Yeah. Graham Woodall, Head of Sales at Hitachi. Been with the company now for nearly 7 years, looking after a team of 5 BDMs nationally, covering England and Wales. Prior to Hitachi, I was at Bibby for 7 years, joined their graduate scheme. Yeah, had some good times there, did a couple of years in ops before moving into the dark side. And
what did you do in ops?
So I started off doing credit control for 3 months. And then moved into client management. To be honest, didn't really have a clue what I was doing. Got by, didn't lose too much money.
Good.
But it was a really, really good experience. Yeah, just got chucked in at the deep end. And I think from a sales perspective, having the experience of seeing clients being managed on a daily basis was a really good grounding.
So many of the BDMs we talk to, even on this series, are from an ops background. So last week, Tom from Aldermore, ops background. It seems to be, I seem to be one of the rare black sheep that hasn't had an ops background and went straight into sales, but it seems like a lot of them. So, and credit control being a really key one that sort of you see them, and I don't know whether that's because credit controllers are confident and they communicate well on the phone, etc. It just seems like there's a bit of a trend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just gives you, the basics of what the team are doing, chasing cash in on a daily basis, and the importance of what they do. I think a lot of people that work in ops are, intrigued by the sales process and what goes on, and a lot of people get drawn to it.
Yeah, cool. So 7 years at Hitachi.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And how many years invoice finance experience? I always ask this question because it makes people feel uncomfortable.
Nearly 14. Nearly 14 in total. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
We'll jump into the questions, Graham. You've got two. I've got 2 for you. You've got 1 for me.
Sure.
2 different focuses actually, but the first one from me to you, and I guess this is over the market and not just Hitachi, but technology and market, invoice finance market. How has Hitachi and the overall market used technology from a sales? I guess mainly a sales, maybe a little bit of operations or onboarding to make sure to make working in this pandemic slightly easier. So onboarding new clients and transfers, and from a sales and new operations point of view, I guess.
Yeah, well, back in October of last year, whether it was great foresight, bit of luck, our MD Andy Dodd decided to get laptops for all of the workforce, regardless of the role that the staff member undertook. So when lockdown happened, we were in a very fortunate position that the business was able to transition from 90 staff members in our Telford to a UK remote office. So
no one had desktops, so credit controllers were laptop based, and
even our receptionist was sat at home with their laptop answering calls.
Wow.
So, great bit of foresight there. And
I know Andy well. I don't think that was luck, but I'm sure he didn't see the pandemic coming. But that's timing and a half.
And I think it was, it was obviously a huge task to get that implementation from working from home. But shortly after, we were up to 97.2% operational, which was just a great testament to the team.
Wow.
And I think the irony really is that the sales team and the RM team at Hitachi is remote based. And I think during lockdown, it's actually brought the teams a bit closer together, because through Microsoft Teams, Zooms, daily calls, regular updates, the teams are actually speaking a bit more now.
You're talking more than you were before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been some challenges. Credit control, they've done remarkably well, but it has been difficult. The ordinary ability to just pick up the phone and speak to someone straight away has been taken away. Email, different processes, but on the whole, we were well prepared. And
actually, you're still open for business. You're still doing deals. How is very, very quickly? How has the process changed from obviously old school, you jumping in your car and creating a relationship and signing up paper contracts, etc.? How has that changed and had to change? Absolutely.
So again, about 18 months ago, we implemented an onboarding process. It was the first full-on digital one in the industry.
Yeah,
so very, very proud of that. So we did move to electronic documents back then. And the process would work. The lead would come in. Company details would be fed into the system. We do our searches remotely. The application is completed by the BDM. There's certain panels that we need to do. We look for an immediate answer from risk under a certain funding line, turn around within an hour, and then the electronic documents are produced, get sent out to the prospects. We, at the time when we could do sign-ups, we were going out there. Now we do a Teams call, cover off our...
Oh, wow. So you actually do it. So you actually look at them like me and you right now, signing an electronic document on something. Oh, cool. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And then documents come across. We start our DV, and certainly one of the members of my team, we paid a deal out in 48 hours from start to finish, from lead being received. So I think in lockdown, for the business to be geared up to still be able to do that is testament.
I think you're doing a great job, and I think a lot of your competition, a lot of the other funders have adapted quickly. It sounds like you had things done a little earlier because of the plan of the business, so it made it slightly easier to adapt. And some of them have sort of come in and made these changes overnight, but they're working. It seems like you're all doing it in a very, very similar way, which sounds like the natural progression for our market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think getting away, I think the ultimate aim would be get to a virtual office, which again, I think it will go to. People want instant gratification. And if we're set up from a technological perspective to do it, then fantastic.
Yeah, quality. That's a word and a half as well. I don't even think I can say it. Technological, of course. But wow, it sounds like super adapted. Wow. Things are changing, market's changing. I'd be interested to do this in a year's time to see how much of what you are already using you'll continue to use, and how much things have changed. So yeah, we'll book it in the diary for a year from now. I'll jump on to question 2, because I think at every point in this video I say we're going to be way over the 10 minutes. I'm not sure how long everyone will watch it for, but hopefully all of it. Second question, bit of a generic one, so and probably not an answer to it, but how do you personally see access to invoice finance? How do you see access to invoice finance in the next 12 months?
So certainly from Hitachi's perspective, the support from the government scheme has been absolutely fantastic. The sickness and about the ease that the companies, but obviously it has impacted the funding that we've been able to get it, put out to UK SMEs. Last figure I looked at was 38 billion had been advanced. Wow. So obviously that's impacted on the funds that IF companies have got out the door. I think from Hitachi's perspective, being part of the wider Hitachi group, we are very fortunate that we've got the back-in, the access to capital. I think the businesses that adapt through this period will come out stronger. And I think the government support will come to an end. At that time, the cash requirement is there for the SMEs, and I think invoice finance will become the product that companies need to get through their working cash cycle. I think that it's been a tough couple of months. I think there's another good few tough months ahead and challenges for all of us. Yeah. But I think as the government support comes to an end, as I've said, then invoice finance is there to support the growth.
To add to what you're saying, also because of where we've been in the climate, I think more businesses are going to become aware of invoice finance. So not just specifically recruitment, and obviously this is very recruitment related. Recruitment businesses, some that don't use it, will absolutely see the benefit in it more. But other industries that had never considered it, it must be coming up on an agenda. So they're talking about loans, but they're looking at other ways to access cash.
definitely. I think the British Bank were actively advertising on their website when lockdown happened about using invoice finance as a way of supporting businesses and gaining access to capital. So I think you're absolutely right, Simon. I think it is a product that in certain areas isn't as marketed as it should. But I
well
think
known, well known, I'd say, and also there's some stigma from back in the old days with invoice finance that people probably still look at it from a different point of view, and actually the market's changed massively, even in the last 5-10 years, let alone sort of back in the 90s invoice finance.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly when I first joined the industry, there was very much the stigma there, and I think now invoice finance is seen as a very proactive way of managing your cash, and that will only increase.
That's quality. Guess the last one is you to me, non-COVID related. I'll leave it. I'll leave it with you.
So here's a personal one. Obviously, you worked as a BDM for a number of years, very successful.
10 years.
And I know you enjoyed it and you did very well. But what's been the biggest challenge for you then, jumping from full-time employee, working for a lender into broker? Have any lenders sort of surprised you with how they work? And how's the mindset has changed from,
How long have you got? So learning curve coming up to, I think it's 9 months next week, which will be by the time this video gets posted. The main thing is the inevitable, really. You're going from being employed by a good company, you're getting paid well, and you have a nice secure lifestyle, and suddenly you are running, you sat in an office on day one, and I can remember it clearly. I think you came down. I think it was the first day you came down. And you're in this office, and where you start, unbelievable. And that takes like a few weeks to get into, but you settle in. But then I think the biggest thing I've learned is that I've always had great people around me, all the companies I've worked for, in coaching and mentoring and getting the best out of me and growing my career. And I remember from one of my first jobs, I started in telesales a long time ago in invoice finance. And I used to always use the word obviously on the phone. So I'd say obviously and obviously. And my boss at the time, I can remember him saying, is it obvious? It's not obvious. And it was the wrong word, but I'd always use it. And it took that person to kind of get that out of my vocabulary. Sure. Those bad traits you pick up.
Yeah.
And I don't have that now. So you're sat on your own, and you're running a business. We're looking to grow, but it's actually having those people to bounce ideas off, and those people to take you to guide you in the right direction, actually to help you. So hopefully over the next 2 or 3 years, that will come, and just constantly develop. I think when you run your own business and a one-man band initially, you take your foot off that development side of things because you're growing your business. But that's the next stage. But I'm aware of it, and I think it took me a while to become aware of it.
Yeah, and then in terms of how lenders operate, is that
really interesting. So I thought I'd come out, obviously I do pay and bill funding, factoring, ID, etc. There's a lot of suppliers in the market, and I thought, invoice finance and factoring, invoice discount factoring, very similar with most people, and pay and bill, very similar, but a few quick. Every single funder we work with is so different, and in the way that their technology works, the way that their appetite to do business, and it's not just whether they've got a good appetite or a bad appetite, it's what appetite they have, because some will do things that you think, oh my God, I didn't realize anyone could do that. And some will not do things that you think anyone would do. And learning that over the last 9 months has just been a dream, because I genuinely believe that there's a great home for every single recruitment business out there from an invoice finance point of view, pay and bill funding. And anyone who says, it doesn't work for my business and things like that, there's so many different options out there. If you explore them properly, there's a perfect fit, and that's what we're here to do. But I won't talk about it too much, but there definitely is, and there's so many differences.
Yeah, sure. And then I suppose it must be strange relying on then the BDMs to convert the deals for you, and
100%. Obviously, I've worked for a number of funders, so a lot of the people I've worked with, I have relationships with already, like yourself, etc. I've been in market quite a long time, so I know the people that really understand the recruitment market well. So when I created this business, what was really key for me is to have BDMs that I work with that understand the recruitment market. So most of the BDMs I work with at any funder will have a good understanding and will deal heavily in the recruitment market. So like yourself and like others that we're doing these videos with. So.
Well, I mean, sorry, you seem to be smashing it so far.
It's good to talk to lenders. It's good to get this. I'm really enjoying this at the moment. So so many different parts of it. Look, appreciate you jumping on. It's an absolute, I said at the beginning of the video before you jumped on, but it's an absolute stonking day out there. I imagine when this goes live, it's going to be raining like anything. Hopefully it's not. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Graham. And we'll get it up and live. And yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the info. So I'll catch you very soon, mate.
Cheers, Graham.